What's up YouTube, this is Jay the Panther back with a video, and today's video is actually going to be another superhero news update video. I kind of want to talk to you guys about this because I saw this on the Time magazine. If you guys don't know, Time magazine is like a very popular magazine. They've been around for like many years. So I guess, because they're bored or they just made up something, because I saw this on Google, whatever. So I was like, okay, let me just make a video talking to you guys about this. So this comes from TimeMagazine.com. It says, we are now re-examining how we portray cops on screen. Now it's time to talk about superheroes. I guess somebody wrote this article. Listen, this is a long-ass article. I'm not going to read every single detail, but I'm going to read like some of the most important stuff. Okay, it says, I guess, they're talking about how the portrayal is like, okay, for the police have gone mainstream, cop culture. Critics, fans have been reconsidering how Hollywood heroize cops, legal procedures, shoot 'em up, action have long preceded skews on perception of justice in America. I'm trying to read the most of the stuff. It says, cops with capes. Superheroes have dominated popular culture for the last decade. They are fixers of the highest grossing movies and icons to more than just our children. They are beacons of inspiration. Protesters dressed as Spider-Man and Batman as of the recent Black Lives Matter demonstration. Yet what are superheroes except cops with capes who enhance justice with their powers? With a few notable exceptions, more of those later. Most superhero stories star straight with white men who either function as a extortion of a broken U.S. justice system as vigilantes without any checks on their powers. Usually they have some sort of tentative relationship with the government. The Avengers work for the secret agency S.H.I.E.L.D. Batman takes orders from Gotham Police Commissioner Gordon. Even the villainous members of the Suicide Squad execute government orders in exchange for commune prison sentencing. And even when superheroes function outside of justice, they are sometimes idolized by police because they are able to skirt the law to get the job done. And in fact, real life police officers sometimes adapt the symbol of those anti-heroes, the Punisher, blah blah blah. Dude, this is a long ass article, man. It's all about how deep it is and stuff like that. And it says, what's more, given that the creators and stars have these movies have historically been white men, it's hardly surprised that so few recognize with issues of systematic racism, let alone sexism, homophobia, transphobia, and racism and bigotry in the justice system or inherent biases these superheroes may carry with them as they patrol streets or the universe. And I guess they're talking and it looks like this thing is really deep, man. As I said, I will definitely link the article in the description box, but it's really, the way they broke it down sounds very like interesting. So like one of the parts here in the article, right, it says a new kind of hero. There is some history of retconning with policing in black superhero movies. Blade, Wesley Snipes, superheroes have launched the superhero movie boom. We're still today giving Marvel its first box office smash. The movie, written and directed by a white man, tensions between black communities and the police officers on screen. Two cops in a Blade fight, which is clearly a monstrous vampire, begin shooting at Blade. Blade turns around and asks, "Are you damn mine?" Listen, this thing is pretty long. I'm trying to get to the most important part. This is mostly recently, racial injustice has become the centerpiece for superhero films. The clearest example of the shift is Black Panther, Ryan Coogler movie that takes main subject oppression of people of color, black people worldwide. In that movie, Black Panther, aka T'Challa, rules over Wakanda and blah blah blah. T'Challa eventually discovers his own father, similar to Killmonger. T'Challa also realized his nemesis is, while Killmonger's is his father, broken laws, violence of their cause, the conviction that people of color have historically lacked in tools, fighting against systematic oppression. T'Challa eventually comes to represent a contrast between those two viewpoints. And it says, when superheroes and cops collide, Spider-Man, the video game, blah blah blah. Listen, I'm going to give you, again, this thing is long as hell, so I'm not going to read every single thing, but I'm going to just give you my thoughts about it. In my personal opinion, I get where they're coming from, because it's like, I see how they're making this bigger than what it is. It's very interesting, but again, this is kind of stuff that we kind of can figure out and use common sense. Yes, the superheroes are mostly white. men. And let's be honest. And if you do put a female character, it's mostly a white woman. So what's your answer towards that? I feel like, in my personal opinion, since I think a lot of it, and this is just my personal opinion, I think the problem is when you're in these superhero, and again, Anthony Mackie talked about this stuff like that, when you have the biggest movies in the planet mostly being white people are going to criticize it. You know what I mean? That's just the main issue. That's what it is. Like, I guarantee you, if you would have a black person, Latino, Asian, Indian, I think people will look at the superhero genre, a lot, the superhero movies and comic books and all that, a lot differently. Like, right now in the comics, they're race swapping, gender swapping characters, but then you guys don't have the balls to create new, diverse, original characters and put them on the screen. You'll just give us, like, let's say, a black Spider-Man, you know, or a transgender Captain America, or a female Thor. You know what I mean? Like, it's very half-assed and lazy. You know what I mean? And it's very, very insulting because you don't have the balls to create these characters and take risks rather than just take characters that establish and just race swap and gender swap. And also I think people are looking at it because right now we're in a very, very sensitive political climate, and I think they're seeing like what inspires the cops to be what they are, because the superheroes, to be honest, yeah, they are, most of them, even the Justice League and all of them, like, they work for the government or they work for some type of, you know, political justice system, and they take orders almost, even though they're powerful, and they pretty much beat up bad guys, put them in jail, stuff like that. That's why if you notice a lot of the, you know, a lot of the morals the superhero has, a lot of them, it's like the police have in a way, but the problem is there's bad police, you feel me? And then, you know, with the superheroes, it's fantasy and fiction, you know what I mean? It's a lot different, but you could tell like those type of stories can inspire white supremacy or inspire racism, because it's showing that every race, the problem with the superhero movies and stuff like that, it shows that every other race is inferior except Caucasian people. That's the main issue. Now, if you show where it's black, Latino, Asian, gay, whatever, no one has a problem with the superhero movie and the superhero genre. That's why I told you guys before. I think My Hero Academia does a better job at that. Pretty much, you know, it's based in Japan, and a lot of it's inspired by American culture, like Marvel, DC, Star Wars. The main character is a Japanese reject a teenager who's a reject and no one gave a crap about him. He has no superpowers. Then he gets the All Might power, and he grows up, glows up, and becomes the most badass characters ever. You know what I mean? Like, he's more relatable and more understandable than a regular Batman, Superman type character. You feel me? Number one, the one is Japanese, and the other ones are white. You know what I mean? It's a lot different, and people are not going to criticize Deku more than they criticize. People aren't going to criticize Deku the way they're going to criticize Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, because they know what it, those three or those white male superheroes could possibly inspire and cause more damage and harm in the long term. You feel me? That's like the main issue with the main superhero thing, and I think that's the reason why they did the whole New York Times article, well, at least the Time Magazine's article, because I think they're seeing anything that could possibly inspire like a Donald Trump or a white supremacist or a David Duke or any type of thing. They're trying to see anything that's in American entertainment that can possibly inspire that, because that's really the reason why I'm reading this article. I'm just like, he's like, oh well, superheroes almost like, you know, cops with superpowers, and I'm like, in a way you're kind of right, but at the same time, it's like when I'm reading this article, you guys are stretching it way too far for what it is. You know what I mean? I just think, you know, everyone's stuck at home and they're trying to, you know, get a big clickbait, and honestly, it's kind of working because, you know, I'm using this to kind of talk to you guys about that, and especially right now there's not a lot of stuff to talk about. So I think that's one of the reasons why this article and this whole topic of the superheroes keep coming back. You know what I mean? We had this already with Anthony Mackie, we're having this with My Hero Academia, we're having it with the Time Magazine. You know what I mean? Like, we keep bringing back the American superheroes over and over and over, and I think this is an example of people are examining the superheroes going forward, because when the Marvel movies and all that come out, and DC movies, I think people are going to look at this a lot differently after the post-corona pandemic, global race war, what else? The recession. I think we're going to look at Marvel and DC and superheroes, not even just them, but just the world, and look at how what they're doing possibly is damaging in the future when it comes to racial issues. That's what I'm trying to say. that's pretty much it, guys. I know this is a very deep, dark video, kind of, but I kind of want to talk to you guys about this because I feel like it's very, very necessary. I know I dive very deep into it, and I feel like it's very, very necessary to talk about this because even the Times articles and everybody else is dressing the superhero thing. It's always coming back to Marvel and DC. It's always coming back to them. It's really, to be honest, it's really coming back to Disney and Marvel. And I think a lot of it, in my personal opinion, is that when you have 20 plus movies starring with white men leading in it, people are going to criticize you. And now everyone's stuck at home and looking at like the racial stuff and looking at what's happening with the police and stuff like that. They're looking at everything in American entertainment saying, okay, this might have triggered this, trigger that, trigger this, trigger that. Superheroes, trigger that. Star Wars, trigger that. Like, you know, like they're looking at it. Game of Thrones, trigger that. So I'm saying any, like Lord of the Rings, trigger that. So pretty much they're looking at anything that's mostly white, Caucasian influence or mostly represented. They're going to criticize it and look at it and tear it apart. That's what I'm trying to let you guys know. Tell me what you guys think. If you think I'm wrong, you think I'm right, let me know in the comment section below. I want to hear you guys' perspective. Let me know in the comment section below, or even send me, message me and tell me what you guys think about this. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm wrong. I'd rather you just come and tell me how you truly feel about what's happening with this article and what's happening around the world. That's really it. Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you rate and like the video and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Peace and have a great day and take care.